Well, Bernard Smith is in our Cairo bureau. And Bernard, let's start first of all with these reports that 36 Muslim Brotherhood elements, as they're being described, were killed as they were on their way to prison. I know details are very sketchy. What are you hearing?
There are a couple of versions of this story coming out at the moment, Julie. State media, quoting security sources, says this was a van transferring members of the Muslim Brotherhood to prison. It pulled over for some reason and was attacked by armed gunmen who tried to free the Muslim Brotherhood members in the van. In the shootout that followed, 38 men or 36 men in that van were killed. That is the most recent version that state media has been quoting. We earlier heard that the van had pulled over after a fight was staged by those men in the van. The van pulled over. They took a policeman hostage when he opened the back door, and in response the other police officers fired in tear gas and opened fire, killing those men in the van. The Anti-Coup Alliance is saying the 52 people were killed. Whichever way the story pans out and whatever the truth of the story, we do believe that at least 36 members of the Muslim Brotherhood have been killed in this instant when they are being transferred to prison.
And that, of course, only adds to the rising death toll since Wednesday. It is clear, though, that the Muslim Brotherhood aren't backing down from protests. The numbers are smaller, but they're still out on the streets tonight, even though there's a curfew in place.
Yes, we've got still some people out protesting this evening. Two of those, not the whole country isn't under curfew. There's 13 governorates across Egypt that face a curfew out of 27 in the whole country. There are two marches that are breaking the curfew, although nothing seems to have been done as yet, and it's been 3 hours since that curfew started. Nothing has been done as yet to break that up. It seems peaceful at the moment, Julie.
Let's talk about we had various statements from the army and members of the interim government. It's very clear, isn't it, that the message which is going out is that this conflict is not so much a political divide as a fight against terrorism, and they're trying to depict members of the Muslim Brotherhood and their supporters as being extremists. Is that message sinking in?
Well, look, we had this began with the interim government's foreign minister this morning saying that this is not a political conflict. It's a conflict about elements trying to destabilise the country. That message has been built on today by the defence minister and head of the armed forces, General Sisi, who has also said that while there is room for everyone in Egypt, threats to destabilise the country will not be tolerated. And this message is being conveyed by a very sympathetic media, by state media and private media, overwhelmingly sympathetic to the position of the interim government. And so that is the message that most Egyptians are hearing. And we, as far as we can tell, a lot of people on the street are now believe that these anti-coup protesters, these people holding these marches and these sit-ins, are trying to destabilise the country. They don't believe they have a political view. They believe they're trying to destabilise the country, and that is why we've seen in a lot of areas of Egypt, we've seen local residents trying to prevent anti-Morsi, anti-coup protesters from marching, taking their law into their own hands, arming themselves with sticks, sometimes with guns, and we've seen fighting break out between Egyptians on the street, those pro-Morsi and those anti-coup and those for the interim government. So the rhetoric coming down from the government is helping build up this sort of febrile atmosphere on the streets, Julie.